morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time zone. God bless you. My name is Pastor Yemi Omogboyega, your friend. I am going to be talking on the topic which says how religion may destroy or nullify the agenda for your life. How religion may destroy or nullify the agenda for your life. Please subscribe to our channel, pass your comments as you deem fit, like our videos, press the notification button so that you get to know when we upload new videos. Finally, please share our videos extensively, widely. God bless you. I was listening to Dr. Apoki's one of his lectures, and indeed, in the middle of the lecture, he was able to touch on what I was about to talk about. Indeed, that is the agenda for your life and how religion can destroy it or make it unworkable. And I really thank him for that because it's a very vital issue in life. Number one, in your life, you must have an agenda for your life. A life that has no agenda is an aimless life. Just like the Bible will say, a nation without a vision is useless. The same thing as it is for a nation, so it is for individual lives. Thank God we are coming to an end of 2024, year 2024, moving towards 2025. Let me tell you, before year 2024 came, your church has set the agenda for themselves. How much they are going to make from you and how they are going to collect them. And I can bet you that the agenda they set for your finances is greater than your total income, expected income for this year. And we have just 1 month plus to go. They've already collected 90% of that from you if you are the type that is obedient to them. They have already collected that, and already they have strategized for how they will collect the remaining for this year. One, thank God, in between they said there is salary review for everybody. The first thing they said, bring that one first as the first fruit. They are just rounding up for this year. It's a bonus for them because they never knew that there will be wage review then. And then, so if you give them your first fruit, whatever increase you got, the difference between your old salary and your present salary, that gap. If you're earning 10,000 before and you are now getting like 60,000, so that difference, no, let's say you're earning 30,000 before and now your salary is 60,000. So the 30,000 difference, they say you should give it to them as first fruit. And then you will also pay tithe on the original figure on 60,000, not on 30, because your new salary. And then in between, you will now be paying your love offerings. Then they will appeal to you for donations. And there are some programs that are going on now in one of the churches that I know. They call it Family Week. I know they will appeal to you to contribute something, and you will a lot of other things. Maybe you have make vows, or you have pledges and all that. There will always be a project that they want you to contribute to. So by the time you put all that together, they are rounding up for the year. And then still to crown it all, congresses are coming. All the churches are taking their congresses separately and individually as churches. And then you will be expected, even up to the membership level, to contribute towards, because your parish will have a budget from their headquarters as to what you will contribute, and so on and so forth. And there are other devices that they will put in just to gather money. And for the rest of the 1 week, you are going to stay either at the so-called Shiloh or Congress or whatever name they give it, end of the year services, that is Ashekagba for the year, which is usually 1 week. You are going to transport yourself to the camps, you are going to eat, you are going to pay for accommodation or sleep in the open air, open yourself to so many challenges, and so on and so forth. But every day, every service, you will pay, you will give offering. And at the end of everything, you will do thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, all of them bordering upon money. And then they will give you word of knowledge, and they will give you prophecies for 2025. And then to crown it all, it's not finished yet. On the 20, 30, some churches will have 3 days program to cross over to the new year. Some will have a day too, and then you have your services, everything ending up in giving offerings, thanksgivings, and all that, and so on and so on and so forth. You can see they have their agenda, but unfortunately, maybe you don't have. We are coming to that. So there is nothing that you earn in this world that, if care is not taken, no matter what the plan you have for yourself, for your family, for your siblings, for your parents, for your community, for everywhere, there's none of them that you will accomplish unless you are vigilant and you can set your budget and adhere to them. Because so many things will come to you from the church. And unfortunately, they have taken that church to be the only family you have. And that is why some of them will go and tell you, some GOs will tell you, you can give as much as 50% of your income. That is an advancement now. Be ready for 2025. They will do everything that will make you to give not less than 50% or more of your income to the church. That is why I'm telling you now that you should be vigilant. 2025 is coming. They have collected, they are rounding up the one for 2024, but 2025, if you still fall onto the same trap, it will be your own making. I warn you, don't be emotional about religion. Don't be sentimental about religion. Don't treasure your GO's words. Most of them are deceptive. It is the truth. Somebody should say you should give 50% of your income. You know what that means, that you can give it and they will do everything possible to collect it. Even what he's talking about, that you can give it as your tithes, not even as the other offerings and thanksgiving offering and others. So you need to be aware. Now, start your life, or start as they are planning against your 2025 year. 2025 now, may God spare our lives beyond that year. Start planning for your life. If you don't have an agenda for your life, indeed, this agenda thing should have started from your early days. Let me give you an example. I told you when I was young, I've shared this a number of times, I had an agenda for my life. I wanted to be better than the generation that I met, because I met what people called humble background. But the plain language, the proper name for it is poverty. That was what I inherited. And I said I rejected it. So I set an agenda for myself that I have to become somebody of substance in life. And I didn't want to depend upon anybody other than God. And I thank God today that has been realized. All right? That has been realized. To God be the glory. And then I set an agenda on how I will get there. Then, okay, let me say it. I said also that the generation after me must be better. Things that I didn't have the opportunity of having, like education, that my generation, the generation after me, my children, should have their education in a smooth sailing manner. And to God be the glory today, we trained all our children to university level. That's an accomplishment. Number three, I said I wanted to uplift my family, both sides. And by the special grace of God today, I have contributed to the very best of my ability and what I had to try to uplift one or two people, at least a few people from my family, to take them from the position of poverty to the position where they can be dependent upon their own economically. All right? So, and even as I still speak, I'm still doing the little that I can, even after retirement, to still support those that needed to be supported. Needed to be supported. Needed to be supported is part of my agenda, that I will support them, and I'm doing so. I have done so, and I'm doing so. And let me tell you, I emphasize that needed to be helped, because in my younger days, I tried as much as possible to encourage the younger ones, to support the younger ones to be on their own. But I want to tell you, it is not all the people that I tried to raise to that keyed into that vision. For instance, I brought one to me to live with me as a driver. He was a trained driver, and I tried to see if he could further his education. He said no, and that he would do driving. And that was not even the crime. The crime is the fact that even when you are now doing the driving, I tried to fix you in an organization where you can get good pay. And then if it is business you want to do, you can do it. And if it is any other thing you want to do, you can do it, so that it will be well with you. But alas, today the story is different, because the outcome is that he did not key into the vision that I gave to him. He lived his life the way he liked. And today he's enjoying the fruit of that rejection of good advice. And then a few other ones like that. There is one that, okay, I brought in to live with us, sent him to school. He had a GSS certificate, and the result was not good. I made him to repeat that GSS 3 and I trained him up to school start level, and eventually he went for a diploma course at the university, which eventually he completed, so to speak, because I was disappointed several years later, about 15, 20 years later, to discover that he said he completed it. I think I saw the statement of result, but he today has not collected the certificate. And um, after that, I enrolled him on Python basis to a university, a 4-year course. He did, he was there, and I paid up to the only money left that I didn't pay was the project money. And I thank God I didn't even pay, because I never knew. It was not until 2, 3 years ago that I got to know that he had plenty of carryovers. So, how would he have written his project if I had paid for the project? So, what I even did then, things were a bit hard up. I said, pay, look for a way to do it. You are matured. You are over 20 something years. So you can work to get the money and do it, and I will pay you. I made a promise. But to my surprise, today, the certificate which he said he completed in the first university for diploma, he did not collect. This one, he did not complete. And as I speak with you today, there is nothing I can do about it. These are two glaring examples of people that I tried to lift up and they did not. That's agenda for the family. And there are those of them who actually lived even so beyond my expectation, beyond the counsel, beyond the training, beyond the administrations that I give to them. And these people have done exploits not only for themselves, they have done exploits for their own families. They've done exploits for their larger families. They've done exploits to the community. So you see, there are a number of people in that category. So it's 50-50. So it's those who needed. So my agenda for the larger family was fulfilled in the lives of some, and whereas in the lives of some others, it is not fulfilled. Even today, on the other side of it that I'm talking about, those who fulfill those agenda, I'm a beneficiary of their allergies, because even my own children benefited from them, in terms of, extending love. That is what it is. And not only that, they took good care of their parents and their own children and their own siblings. Now, whereas the other group, not only could they not take good care of themselves, they cared less. In fact, one of them would say his mother is a witch, the father is a wizard, and so on and so forth. So, so that is what they chose. Now, all this agenda were implemented to the letter. And a part of the agenda that I had for myself was, okay, God helping me, I'll work till retirement and be on pension. God answered that prayer too. I'm on pension today by the special grace of God. That's the source of my steady income. No matter how little, no matter what it is, I didn't lose out there too. So, and I have some other benefits outside income, like salary or pension, whatever that I'm doing. Then I had an agenda to set up businesses for the family, for myself, for my family, because I prefer to create an employer mentality on my children rather than employee mentality, so that they too can start becoming employers instead of employees. And by the special grace of God today, the agenda is also that I set up, we have a school in my family, we have um, a cooperative society in my family, we have, even in terms of the ministry, spiritual matters, we have a church online and as well as a small one offline that we are managing. I mean, to fulfill the spiritual side of life. And today, you know, all of us that keyed into that vision, we are benefiting from it. So you can now see that these are the agenda, some of the agenda. Now, in your own case, what agenda do you have for your life? If you haven't developed one when you were young, it's never too late. You can start now. What is, look at yourself in the next 30 years. Where do you want to be? Ask yourself where you are now. I went to one of the exams, Pitman examinations, and the essay topic they gave to us in those days was myself at 50. And as at that time, I was in my 20s, maybe 22, 23. And I wrote that essay. In fact, that was what provoked me to foresee the future very well, even though I foresaw it and all these ones I say, I had already planned them. But it enabled me to see that myself at 50 should be a period of consolidation, that I should have looked back and say, my family, I've taken good care of them. My future, I've taken good care of it. And anything that I needed to achieve in life should be consolidated. And by the time I consolidate them, I should know that I am at peace with God and with myself. What am I supposed to have done that I have not done? So, what am I supposed to have done that I did? And what are the results today? And then if there are the ones I'm supposed to do that I didn't do, how can I make amends? Because it's never too late. And one thing that I realized from my agenda was simply that, I I set good visions for myself and I pursued it to the letter and I realized them all. But when I compare myself with somebody like Dr. Apoki, I can see that, oh, I wish I had a bigger dream. All right? I wish I had a bigger dream because this is how I should have accomplished everything. But like I said, we are not the same. No two people will be the same. When you compare the two of us, our background looked like the same, but the road to which we passed through the journey of life, the roads are different. He was, no matter how rough and tough, he came from poor background, then he was able to school. He went to regular school till he became a doctor. So by the time he became a doctor, he was able to set up his own hospital and run it till he was 40 years of age and sold it off, part of his agenda. But in my own case, I had to train myself completely with primary six certificates. I had to take it over from there for primary to read the GCE and pass my exams and then be working. So it's all of from the age of about 19, I've started working. All those years he was in the school and he was still, struggling in his own way too. And today, God has blessed both of us. The only thing, like I said, was I would, if he had been with me or we had been together, maybe I would have copied from his vision, like the ones he had that, okay, he wanted to have children all over the world. Today he's having them. I didn't have them. Grandchildren, grandchildren all over the world. For instance, my own vision was, oh, Nigeria is good enough, whatever it is. And to achieve that, he sent his children overseas to go and study. And they realized that from there. But to me, Nigeria is good enough. And if my children are well educated, they will get good opportunities and they will still fly. If they now like, they can go overseas by themselves and so on and so forth. You can see that in that area, we are not exactly the same. So there is dissimilarity. So where my own vision got to was where I got to. And where his own vision got to was where he gets to. I thank God for him. I thank God for me. No, none of us should regret. And I believe that, even I can see, you see, vision development is continual. That's agenda. It's agenda we are talking about. Agenda is your vision. When you say you have a vision, it's an agenda for the future. You now plan on how to get there. So I set them and I realized them. Now, in the process of your pursuing your life's goals, church will come in. God. You see, why do you go to church? You go and you want to place your life in the hands of God. And you are correct. Because nothing can you achieve in this world without the consent or approval of God. Nothing. You may be pursuing it and at a stage, sudden thing may happen. Anytime I remember that those of us, is not all those of us who started the 10-year journey together when I was in the university that graduated. I give glory to God. I don't mock those people that didn't make it. It's a pity. Some died along the way. Some recorded one thing or the other. They could not continue. Some had issues and all that. But as it pleases God, majority was able to scale through. Anytime I remember a classmate of mine whom we graduated together at the Lagos State University, went to the Nigerian Law School together. Unfortunately, he had a carryover and he had to go back the following year to go and retake his paper. And just at between the Nigerian Law School and Abuja Township, their vehicle rammed, either it's a vehicle or Okada, rammed into a trailer, and that was the end. Anytime I remember that, may his soul, his gentle soul, rest in perfect peace. It's unfortunate. Anytime I remember this also, I remember that it is just by God's grace that I was able to go and come back safely. I had my own experience near misses, but God made them near misses. God knows best. And may God continue to comfort and console the family of the dead today. May his gentle soul continue to rest in peace. A lot of people went like that and they never returned. Or even when we graduated, one of us was already practicing. He got to a court premises and he was, as the court mentioned his case, his client's case, he rose. I understand this one happened at Badagry. He rose up and he came down like that. And that was the end. How about that? So it is just by God's grace. Everything we do, we must subject to the will of God. And so if you look at this one, you will discover that, it's only God. You need God in your life. That's why I always say, let me remind you, if you don't have Christ, anybody can go at any day. What will be said about you? What will God say about you? Yes, you are pursuing your ambition. One may make it, one may not make it. You have seen the two examples. It is everything that we get in life is in the hands of God. That's why if you don't have the Lord Yahushua as your Lord and personal Savior now, you had better trace your step back to Him. Even if you must make it, it will be the one that will allow and permit. Even if you make it, it's the one that will still bless that work of it is the work of your hand. Deuteronomy 28, verse 10 to 14. He will be the one that will say yes before it can come to be. So, That you go to the house of God is not a mistake at all. It is the right, if there's anything like rightest decision that any sensible person will ever make. I thank God that you understand that. So please, if you haven't accepted the Lord as your personal Savior, please don't waste time. Go back. Identify with a church. Understand me. And then, the only thing you need to be careful of there is that the church you go to may end up truncating the agenda for your life. You need to watch out for that. That's all we are saying. No. The agenda you have developed for yourself, please make sure you are following it irrespective of what is happening in the church. Because where they will corner you is your finances. And anybody who corners your finances, he has cornered your life. Because after God, it is money before family even. I'm telling you. After God, it is money, then it is your family. Then you can be talking of the rest. So you need to know, okay, let me say, after God, it is, yes, money. That is your work will generate the money for you. And then from the money, you can make your family all right. So you can see that if you go to the church of God, there are demands, myriads of demands. But it's not all the demands that are correct. Many of them are developed to pursue the agenda of the owners of the church, the founders or the owners of the church. They have their own agenda. They want to build auditoriums. They want to build, they want to, some of them want to do charity, even though majority will never do. Some of them, they want to do, so they will build programs upon programs upon programs upon programs around this to make money, to be able to accomplish those goals, which at the end of the day becomes their goals, not your own. So if you don't have a plan, an agenda for your life, the church will use you to pursue their own agenda. And you won't realize it until you are 50 to 60 years old and you look back. So agendas like you have planned to train your children, never compromise them. Train them to the maximum of your ability. Agenda to invest in businesses. It could be real estate, it could be whatever business, it could be your talent. Those agenda, spend money on them, train to make them come to reality so that in your old age you won't suffer. And then agenda such as investing in your siblings, investing in your parents, investing even in your community. Do not be left out in those ones. Any demand, be it from the church or from anywhere, that will truncate these things, that will make you not to achieve them, please be careful not to succumb to them. Emotions, in fact, religion draws so much on emotions. You can imagine somebody says you can give 50% of your income as tithes. He's still coming to demand for donations. He's still coming to demand for love offerings. Still coming to demand for vows. He's still coming to demand for one thing or the other. Thanksgiving. He's coming to demand for welfare offering, which will never get to the people that they said they are collecting them for. And at the end of the day, by the time you do that, where will you get the money to fund all these other things? So it is better you plan your life. When you are going to church, you have to be very, very careful. Very, very careful, because they will strip you off your income to the last kobo. Like I always say, they will even come to your burial. They will still collect the money. They will collect money for the generator, the fuel with which they conduct your burial, and collect honorarium at the end of the day. And your children that you fail to cater for will abandon you. They may want to do, but because they don't have the capacity, they won't be able to do anything for you, even as you are dying. I told you in your old age you need more money than you needed when you are still working, because your medical situation, old age will bring in, a different status that will consume more money in a different dimension than you are. If you don't prepare for that, you have incomes that are coming in through your investments on your children, investment on businesses, and so on and so forth, that will be yielding you returns, good results in your old age. And God help you if you are a pensioner and you are able to, even in your pension, there is limit to which your HMO can cover now. There is a limit. You should be able to supplement so that you don't die prematurely and that you don't die suffering even while you are still alive. So please make sure that your agenda is not subsumed under the agenda of the church. They came up with so many things that will prompt you to spend money, you know, impromptu, in an impromptu way, something you don't plan. Hey, we want to do a program. It is you we are looking for, daddy. Especially maybe they see you are riding on a car and then you have a good house or something. They will be flocking your house. Daddy, 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 it's you we are looking for this project. This I remember in my previous church. Anytime we have a program, I want to give honorarium. They will run to me and say, Daddy, oh, we are unable to raise honorarium, and I will be emotional. I have to raise something for them to be able to accomplish. I kept doing all that until I now realized that, look, hey, why is it that the total body of the church will be placed upon me? Am I alone there? And until I started operating wisely, you know. And that time, I could not plan anything for my family, but I'll do more for these people. And they are using you, the pastors are using you to gain their own ranks there. Okay, if you contribute to make the honorarium available to those people, what will happen? Will they give you the rank? They give you the pastor. And also the pastor they will now extend themselves beyond the level that, you know, they can. And then they heap the burdens upon you. You need to be very, very careful. There are so many tricks in the church. There are so many tricks in the church. Determine what you want to give to the work of God and don't go beyond it. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7. Go and read it. In fact, read the whole of verse 9. That anything you want to give to the work of God, give it voluntarily. Then endeavor also to invest in the poor, the needy, the widows, the orphans that are around you to the best of your ability. That is your heavenly treasure. Anything you spend on the poor, you are giving to God directly because God is their God. So don't give to the church to the point that you don't give directly to the poor. Because anything you say you are giving to the church, they are not delivering it to the church, to the people. And then even the church is supposed to give to you from what they have, according to your needs. How many times have they done that for you? You need to be careful. The agenda of your life, one, you must develop it. Two, you must follow them through. And then you must still do something to the work of God, to advance the work of God. But it should not be coerced. When they are pressurizing you for tithe, they are pressurizing you for programs, they are pressurizing you for whatever, be careful. Another area, part of your agenda that they can scuttle is this. You are supposed to improve yourself so that you'll be relevant with time. Maybe academically, maybe upgrade your skill so that you can advance more in your chosen field. The programs of the church can truncate that for you because there are unending programs. And if you continue to go by that, you will not be able to even have money to sponsor your skill acquisition. You will not have enough money to be able to do what you want to do to make your life or tomorrow better. You will not. If somebody has taken 50% of your income, what is it going to, what are you going to invest in business? And then when the programs are coming up, you will never be able to have a time to think for yourself, even the businesses you want to do. And a day comes, a day goes. Your life is running out. Be careful. A lot of tricks are in the church of God. Determine what you want to give and give it cheerfully, for God loves a cheerful giver. Your love offering is not compromisable. If you vow something in your heart, give it. If you pledge something, give it. If in the area of programs, if you want to support, support. There's nothing wrong if you support, but don't carry the burden over your head thinking that you are serving God, because they will make you believe that a lot of returns are coming if you do it. They will then tell you, will prophesy to your life and all that. Be careful. Don't be foolish. I want to tell you that little seed in your hand today, if you sow it well, you will reap the harvest bountifully later. Be careful. Church can truncate your destiny. Church, especially Pentecostal churches, other Orthodox churches are doing it too, because Anglican has copied that. Anytime from they don't emphasize tithing and they don't threaten you. That's what I love in them. But they know it is not right. It is not right. They only say, okay, they give you room to pay if you want to pay. You should tell the people it is not, God does not demand it to. If you now say you want to give, it is left for you. But let it be voluntary from your own heart. But even churches that are collecting it, to me, they are fraudulent. That's the truth. Because why do you know that God does not ask for something and you are now saying if you want to, you don't, and they say we shouldn't steal, but we can pilfer. Ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ náà sì fọgbọ́n ṣe. So what are we saying? Let's call a spade a spade. God demands this, God does not demand this. And in terms of money, God does not demand any money from you, even the offering. He does not demand it, but it is good because you have to run the church. You have to have a befitting place of worship. All right? So, God bless you. Please make sure that the agenda of your life is not compromised, because in the name of serving God. Have a very wonderful day. Remember, share this message. 2025 is coming. I told you they are targeting your first fruit. They are targeting your first salary in the year. They are targeting the congress they are holding now. They are targeting it. They even say go and advertise for them. Write something on your cap and begin to polowo, advertise all over the place. At the end of the day, you will still contribute money for the something. So be careful. Don't be foolish. Christianity is not synonymous with foolishness. We've had enough of stupidity in Christianity. And that is why today people are angry. Only for me to discover that at the age of over 60, that you don't need to pay tithe. And I've taught it and I've cursed people, I've abused people, I've pressurized people to pay it in the past. I've asked for forgiveness. May God forgive all of us, including those who sent us and who are now saying we didn't send you later. Thank God. Go and tell your members that those who are not paying tithes are Acans. We should drive them away. You are with one hand you are saying coming, with another hand you are saying drive them, because of what? Because there's no money. Food for thought for you. God bless you. Please share.